Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. Last time, we captured Reshiram at Dragon Spiral Tower and met with N one more time. He told us to go to Giant Chasm as Kyurem has returned. After today, the citizens of Lacanosa Town will no longer have to fear going out after dark. Cause this thing will get you in the dead of night. Trying that again with a repel this time. I gotta say this, I'm not nearly the only person to say this, but as someone who, you know, didn't really get why Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon needed to exist, someone who wasn't super into Sword and Shield and just kind of thought it was all right, had potential, but, you know, didn't really live up to it, as someone who didn't even buy Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl because I just wasn't interested and I already owned a copy of Platinum, Legends Arceus really brought me back to being a Pokemon fan, after I had not really been that into any aspect of it but the cards for a few years. And because of that, I want them to do a Unova Legends game. I think Legends Kyurem would be the perfect direction to take that in. They did awesome on Legends Arceus. It was so freaking fun. I guess I could criticize some things about it though, but man, gameplay is just so good, and I just had such a fun time with it. I didn't really think it was worth complaining about much, you know? Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem were all once one Pokemon, and they split into three. We don't know what that original dragon looked like, but we know it once existed. We've seen two of them fused together, but not three, and you could make a whole game out of this mystery Pokemon that we've been speculating on for over a decade. That's the kind of mythology stuff that I'd love for them to explore in a sequel. Ghetsis' cane is still here. It doesn't seem to be in control anymore. We gotta save. Is incomplete. The mere shell of what once was just isn't all that exciting on its own. Ice Dragon is more geared to offense, but it just isn't as powerful at a specific role as its two more complete forms, or even Reshiram or Zekrom individually. It's that third Pokemon in every trio of legends that has the stats of the other two divided evenly and just isn't that strong as a result. Kyurem's moves are similarly just kind of in the middle. Its signature move Glaciate is only 65 power. Doesn't even have 100% accuracy, it's 95%, but it's guaranteed to lower the target's speed. It's effectually better Icy Wind as it hits multiple enemies in doubles and triples, but there just aren't a lot of those kinds of battles for it to fight in, and it's been in battle facilities and competitive where it might actually get some use out of that. I hope this doesn't sound like I'm calling Kyurem bad, by the way, because its stats are all still high. It packs a deadly Ice Beam, and Earth Power is a pretty decent coverage move worth celebrating. It's just not as exciting as its fused forms, which more says just how White Kyurem is one of the strongest Pokemon ever born. Bizarrely, Kyurem is not shiny locked. Good luck. A lot of people believe this to be an error. You would look awesome in a quick ball today. It matches your color scheme and it's all cold while kind of sporting. Nah, okay. You're not one for much fashion sense with you being bent over and encased in ice for many years of your life. I don't think there's really much saving you. Kyurem just looks so creepy. It has no pupil in its eye there, and I don't know, just the shape of its body and the way that it all fit together on a skeletal level, it just feels really strange. I'm gonna brick break you and see where that gets me, scary face. No move necessary there, buddy. You just kind of passively lower my speed. Okay. Yeah, okay, all right. The flame charge does normal damage. It's not a lot of power. I'm gonna hold off. I don't think I want to risk this. I think I'd rather just kind of start chucking some stuff at it, see what happens. I can make use of Dusk Balls here, which was not the case for your brethren that were a lot easier to catch. Okay. So for a legendary battle, Did you ever feel like when fighting a legendary Pokemon that the game was just listening to you for you to say something and then you jinxed it by saying that you weren't going to catch it and then you did? Well, turns out there's actually some truth to that. Kind of. The microphone is always turned on while you're playing a DS Pokemon game, and it's taking data from that microphone to calculate RNG, and it uses that data to determine how your RNG seed and stuff like that. Any noise while playing determines your luck. Every word I say is being turned into calculations as I speak. Some speedrunners tried to do this where they tried to make it so that they could manipulate what the microphone was hearing in some way in order to get RNG seeds that favored them, but it was found to just be unreliable. You can't really control a lot of atmospheric conditions that can affect what the microphone reads. And there's better ways of manipulating RNG in these games that doesn't require doing that, so, you know. Usually date and time gets used a lot. One. Ah! Glaciates. That was the move that you tried to murder me with, and it's that freaking weak. That's really funny. I'm gonna swap into McFly here. You haven't done anything too scary yet. Keyword yet. Hey, I just got done talking about how the RNG is reading the microphone. I'm not about to jinx anything after that. Scary face. For such an occasion, McFly has been taught Thunder Wave in its 4th move slot over Psychic. That's actually the one move I'm a little terrified of. He always jumps up getting startled by whatever the opponent just did. It's so good that that keeps happening. He's such a ham, man. He's a movie star. And then I'll go for the Thunder Punch. You'll resist that, one of the very few things that you actually resist with your awful defensive typing. Good. McFly, you done good. He did it twice in a row. So awesome that a movie star could also be like someone who helped slay a dragon. Aiden, with him paralyzed, you're gonna be able to go out there and do so much. He takes normal damage against water, no, not water, against ice, so can't do that. We'll do a Dusk Ball. Let's do the Dusk. Zero shakes! It was even worse than when it had high health! You guys knowing Imprison is so weird. It looks like... I get that Imprison is supposed to be like a wax seal though, but it just looks like somebody got their chewing gum on it or something. Zero! It is pretty thematic with you. You do represent absence. I'm pretty sure I already praised this in another video where I fought a Kyurem, but I just gotta say it, man. For those of you that have played the spin-off games, Kyurem in Mystery Dungeon is one of my favorite portrayals of a Pokemon like in the extended universe, period. It's amazing. It's a way, I think it's a way more interesting story than what we get in the main series and like that lore and all that. It's just awesome. It's so funny that because Gates to Infinity is such a meh game, but like that one aspect of it is genuinely amazing. If you don't know the lore behind Kyurem, you kind of have to put it together with Pokedex entries and stuff like that, but Kyurem is based on the Tunguska event. Basically the meteorite that blew up in the Earth's atmosphere and turned over a bunch of trees with the explosion but did not leave a crater. It was a huge mystery for a long time what actually caused it. A lot of people thought it was aliens and stuff like that. But it's generally accepted that it was a meteorite that exploded in the air. The idea is that Kyurem was an extraterrestrial. It came to Earth on that meteorite. That happened, and it ended up living here. It struck fear into the residents of Lacanosa Town, obviously, as it would, with something just that terrifying happening when it showed up. 3. Ah, yeah! Hell yeah! It was once one Pokemon, like I said. The 2 great heroes went to go see what it was. They befriended it. It split into 3 Pokemon because one stood for truth, one stood for ideals. That's how Reshiram and Zekrom were born. This legendary ice Pokemon waits for a hero to fill the missing parts of its body with truth or ideals. Well, I'm sure gonna shove my beliefs down your throat and stick stuff inside you. Oh, what are you people doing? Blaze, that was Kyurem just now, right? So that's a legendary Pokemon Team Plasma, or should I say Getsus, was using. Blaze, you're amazing. You've met so many Pokemon. Hey now, your Pokedex should be pretty full, right? I'm sure Professor Juniper will be really happy if you show her. I'm sure she was. In Unova, actually in the whole world, there are still many Pokemon that are waiting to meet you though. Still, how many Pokemon could there be in all? I think I'll go back to New Vemetown and ask Professor Juniper. Such a convenient way to deliver that. I wasn't expecting that, sorry. I thought it was just gonna leave behind like an icicle plate or something. I forgot about that. Such a convenient way to deliver our next objective. So, yeah, we're basically done exploring all of the locations on the mainland, as I call it. We got all of this still to explore, tons of locations. And I guess also there's this on the mainland, but we'll go there another time. Yeah, we're not done exploring yet. Our next objective is going to be, our next story objective is going to be New Vemetown, going back to the beginning of Unova itself. Oh! There's the wallpapers for Kyurem! I thought that was Reshiram Zekrom! I don't know why I'm talking like this! Wallpaper! Special! Team Plasma, next! Kyurem 1. Whoa, that's so cool! It's got like an X behind it. Wow, that's the coolest image of White Kyurem I've ever seen. Reshiram. Vulpix could learn a thing or two from looking that cool while showing us its ass. Zekrom. That is so good! I don't think I've seen this artwork in a long time, actually. I didn't remember it looking like this. Wow, okay, that's pretty great. We're gonna take these. I got a timid nature. Aw, he just wanted to be left alone in his little cave. He didn't want to be bothered by no one. That's minus attack plus speed. Shoot, that's actually beneficial. It's not as exciting as Reshiram. It's all middle of the road stuff. It has a 2 in special defense, which is very fitting for an ice type, but yeah, it's all just kind of in the middle. The DNA Splicers, a splicer that fuses Kyurem and a certain Pokemon. They are said to have been one in the beginning. Kyurem fuse with which Pokemon? We got real ass Pokemon fusion here. Kyurem changed for May. Still awkward. This means we can now make
Kyurem! White Kyurem!
And
Kyurem! Black Kyurem!
also ludicrously awkward. This mechanic is known as Abso-Fusion. We heard Getsus call it out when he took control of Kyurem. When performing Abso-Fusion, the resulting Pokemon will take on Kyurem's nature and IVs. Thank the Lord. If it was the other way around, I'd be so ashamed that I had such a bad white Kyurem. So yeah, I really have no reason to ever use Reshiram. It's just a means to an end at this point. We're free to use the DNA splicers again. And they'll be separated just fine. Don't permanently lose our Reshiram or anything. Whenever they're fused together, Reshiram or Zekrom will gain no effort values or levels. It'll just go back to how it was before you fused it. Everything you gain applies to Kyurem. Be warned that this means that fusing and defusing will reset Reshiram and Zekrom's moves to whatever they would be at default at their current level. Maybe don't go using your shards or move tutors on Reshiram, as it's going to be hard to get those moves back, and White Kyurem is just factually better than Reshiram in basically every single way. I think this only really applies to you with Zekrom, as Zekrom is sometimes better, Black Kyurem is sometimes better. For now, you're going in there. Well, we finished everything up a lot quicker than I thought we would. I thought Kyurem would be enough to just carry the whole thing though, but nah, we got so much game to play. Why not knock out another thing that we have to do eventually? We got a mountain of content to play. Beep, beep. Coming through. Whoever thought this was a good idea needs to lose all their hard drives in a flood. For you see, in all of that time away that I told you about before, oh my, this is not gonna see often. Your Hippowdon's ability is Sandstream. I finally got it as my swarm after waiting like a freaking month. For a trainer like you, here comes the Pokemon weather forecast. Using the move Sandstorm or sending out a Pokemon with the ability Sandstream will cause a Sandstorm. When in a Sandstorm, Pokemon take damage at the end of every turn unless they are Rock types, Ground types, or Steel types. The power of the move Solar Beam will be reduced by 50%. I did not know that. I knew that it was weakened in Rain, but not Sandstorm. Weather Ball will become a Rock type move, and its power will be boosted by 100%. When in a Sandstorm, it's been reported that Rock type Pokemon boost their special defense by 50%. By the way, the Pokemon called Castform is known to change form and type depending on the weather, but Sandstorms don't affect it in that way. The Darkened Sky reduces the amount of HP recovered from the moves Morning Sun, Synthesis, and Moonlight. By the way, there are some abilities that take effect in Sandstorm, such as Sand Rush, Sand Veil, and Sand Force. Please check your Pokemon status. The lucky item in a Sandstorm is the Smooth Rock. By the way, I long for a life where I could be a free spirit and soar anywhere like the sand blown by the wind. How did you enjoy my Pokemon weather forecast? Please bring me another Pokemon or with other moves or abilities you want to hear a different forecast. Well, sheesh, we built this up for more than half of the adventure and you didn't even get an item for it. That's kind of a letdown, wouldn't you say? I thought with this whole thing being a side quest, you know, we'd get something for it. No, not even a medal. Well, sheesh, lady, all because you're such a letdown. Now I gotta find a new topic to end this video on so it doesn't feel empty and hollow. Like Kyurem. We'll go to Mistralton City and talk to this person, see if they got anything for us. How many TMs? 64, my favorite number. No, that doesn't give me anything either. Let's go to Route 8 and get a rock, a heat rock in the middle of the rain. Yeah, that's pretty memorable and accomplishing. You'll be here, you promise. Okay. Now that we've actually gotten an item for doing something, I think we're gonna end it here. Next time on Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, we got a big one. We got a major big topic that we're gonna be going over, and yeah, I don't really think I can tack that onto this, so yeah. We did an area, we did a legendary battle beginning to end, we went over a game mechanic. Sometimes it doesn't take that long to do that. Full package. See you guys then.